Bureau's residuals management section. The date today is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025, and it is currently 9:01 a.m. This hearing is being held to receive public comments on the rules proposed by DES, specifically New Hampshire Code of Administrative Rules, Env-Wq 800, which is our sludge management rules. The rulemaking notice for these rules was published in the New Hampshire Rulemaking Register on November 13th, 2025, and was given the notice number of 2025-249. The hearing is being held on the date, time, and the location indicated in the notice. That is 29 Hazen Drive, room 208C, as well as on Microsoft Teams. As was stated earlier, the hearing is being recorded at this time. During the hearing, we are only going to receive comments and taking clarifying questions regarding the proposed rules, Env-Wq 800 sludge management. But if you do have other questions, we will conduct an informal Q&A after the hearing closes and the end of the recording. This hearing is being held in person as well as remote via Microsoft Teams to allow increased access for everyone that is interested in the rulemaking process. To speak at today's hearing, we will recognize those first in person here at 29 Hazen Drive. Then we will recognize those who are participating via Teams, and then anyone that is via phone to receive the oral testimony. At the end of the hearing, we will ask each person on Microsoft Teams or via phone if they would like to have any comment to ensure that there weren't any issues that prevented the participation in the earlier comment period. There are several ways to receive any requests if you're having any issues via Teams or phone. If possible, you can email Benjamin Giorgi, who is here in the room with us, at benjamin.giorgi@des.nh.gov. We will also put his email there in the chat, and you can also use the chat function at that time. Anyone wishing to make oral comments on the rules may do so during this period. When called upon by me, please state your name, the organization, if any, that you are with, the city or town that you live in, or the city or town where the organization is in. Anyone wishing to submit written comments in lieu of speaking at today's hearing may submit comments in writing via email to the New Hampshire DES rules at des.nh.gov. That's NHDESRULES@des.nh.gov, which is also added to the chat function. You can also use the online rule comment form, which we'll also add to the chat to make any of the comments at that time. The deadline for public comment will be December 26th of 2025. And those who wish to provide oral comments during this hearing should also provide those comments in writing prior to the December 28th, the deadline, in order for them to be part of the formal record. After the close of the comment period, DES will consider both the written and oral comments, and we will decide whether to revise the rules in response to any of those comments. We will file the final proposed rules for consideration by the Joint Legislative Committee on Administrative Rules, better known as JLCAR, and post those rules and a summary received on our website. There are copies. We are going to put links in the chat to the rule summary as well as the initial proposed rules, and there were no further changes to the rules since it was submitted to the register on November 13th. So in response, prior to starting comment, I will just read the following. The department is proposing to readopt with the amendment the Env-Wq 800 sludge management rules. The existing rules implement RSA 485-A:4, section XVI-B by establishing standards, criteria, and procedures for a permit system to manage the removal, the transportation, and the disposal of sludge in order to protect human health, prevent nuisances, and to regulate the beneficial use and recycling of sludge that meets the criteria for land application through the appropriate performance standards. The existing rules are subject to extension for the duration of this readoption pursuant to RSA 541-A:14-A, section I. These rules apply to any person who applies for a facility permit, a site or a land application permit, a sludge hauler permit, or a sludge quality certification, or SQC, pursuant to RSA 485-A:4, section XVI-B. So seeing there's nobody from the public here at 29 Hazen Drive, I will move on to individuals on Microsoft Teams if they wish to provide oral comment. So if there is at this time, I will go through. I will state your name. If you have any comment, please do so at that time. If not, after a few seconds of silence, I will move on. Cindy Gendro, would you like to provide oral comment?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Sydney. I appreciate that. Lindsay Menard. Hearing nothing, I shall move on. Patrick McLean. Hearing nothing, I shall move on. Anybody else on the chat from DES or anybody in the room that would wish or like to provide comment, you can please do so at this time. Hearing nothing, I will leave the hearing open for 15 minutes, just in case anybody else comes in to receive comments. If there's no further comment at that time, the public hearing will close. Thank you. Good morning.
Sign in again?
Yes, if you could just please sign in over here for anybody new who has entered the room. And then we will give you an opportunity to have public comment.
So downstairs at the bottom, there were about probably 45, 50 people coming to something else. We light up something.
Good morning. So thanks for those that just joined us. I'll just give a little bit of a recap of what was spoken earlier. And if you have any comment you'd wish to add, you can do so afterwards. So again, we are here to receive public comments on the sludge management rules, which is Env-Wq 800. Per the rulemaking notice that was published on November 13th, 2025, given the notice number 2025-249. So again, we're only going to be receiving public comment on the proposed rules or taking any clarifying questions regarding the proposed Env-Wq 800 rules. So now that we do have people in the room here, if anybody does have any public comment they wish to offer regarding the Env-Wq 800 rules, you may do so at this time.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if someone behind me was, are you all staff?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I am Sheila Conley from Resource Management, and we appreciate department modernizing, bringing up to speed the rules. We also appreciate the department's continued commitment to allowing for multiple options for managing wastewater solids. As we all know, there are lots of challenges right now to recycle and beneficially use biosolids in New Hampshire. And we want to make sure that New Hampshire continues as a leader in maintaining those options and not eliminating them. Our company has been doing business here in New Hampshire for 31 years now, and we'd like to continue being able to be partners with our communities to recycle their biosolids. So we hope that these rules can enhance programs that enhance parts of the program that are currently challenging to work through. I was actually just talking with Jim Talby downstairs about the CCA requirement, which is really one of those impediments because in the state of New Hampshire, if you look at the CCA registration list, there is exactly one CCA. And that person, Mr. Beaudry, is not a huge fan of biosolids. In fact, he works for his family, which has a chemical fertilizer distribution. And so it's a little bit at odds with his business plan, I suppose. We would like to see that requirement taken from the rule and turned into, some kind of agronomic professional or agronomic certified person as opposed to a CCA, which is really about crops. We also would really appreciate the opportunity to see a modification to the management practices around short paper fiber to make that more accessible as an option for enhancing soils in manufactured topsoils, predominantly for use in roadside work or construction or reclamation projects. That would go an awful long way to making that a more reasonable option for people who are needing to buy topsoil or use topsoil. And the other big push that we would really appreciate seeing is a modification to the testing requirements for material produced at a facility that does not have a recognized process under the 503s, but rather demonstrates that it is safe relative to pathogens. So those would be my three big ones. I will be submitting testimony in the written form to expand upon those notions. But I appreciate the opportunity to be heard.
Thank you, Sheila. Is there anybody else that would like to provide comments?
I have just some quick comment on behalf of New Hampshire Water Pollution Control Association. My name is Abel Sargent. I'm the chair of the Government Affairs Committee. New Hampshire Water Pollution Control Association represents wastewater professionals across the state who are responsible for protecting public health and water quality every day. We appreciate the department's work to readopt and modernize the set of rules. There's a few general comments for the department's consideration. As Sheila mentioned, we also will be providing a written testimony. But first, regarding the removal of the global exemption for wastewater and water treatment plants, we appreciate DS's intent to clarify this applicability. We do encourage the department to ensure that this change doesn't create any ambiguity or future uncertainty for routine day-to-day municipal operations. Just a note, not necessarily a change to the rule as written. And also, Env-Wq 800 includes codification of PFAS sampling requirements, which all SQC holders have had written in their permit for, I don't know, probably the last 4 or 5 years. So this does reflect current practice. We asked the department to provide ongoing clarity regarding how PFAS data will be used in compliance decisions and to continue treating this data collection as science informing only. As Sheila had mentioned, New England's really facing a growing sludge and biosolids management capacity challenge driven by the loss of disposal outlets, increased regulatory complexity across the region, not just in the state. In this context, maintaining clear, flexible, implementable rules will really help ensure that municipalities can continue to manage sludge in a safe and environmentally sound manner. So overall, the association supports the readoption of these rules and appreciates DES's engagement with the stakeholders. Our comments are offered to help ensure the rules remain protective, clear, and practical for the wastewater professionals. And thank you for the opportunity to comment.
Thank you, April. Anybody else who would like to provide comment? Thank you. Once again, I will go through the people that are online to ensure anybody here that would wish to receive comments. If you already said no in my previous comments, I appreciate that. So once again, I will ask Lindsay Menard if you have any comment you would like to add, you can please do so now. And again, if I hear nothing after a few seconds, I shall move on. All right, hearing none, I will move on to Patrick McLeod. Hearing none. If anybody else from DES or in the room, I'll give you one final like to provide any additional comments. Okay, hearing none, I will officially close today's hearing. So seeing no one else wishes to comment at this time, this hearing is hereby closed. I remind you that written comments can be submitted on or before December 26, 2025. As a reminder, you may do so written comment via email to the NHDESRULES@des.nh.gov email, which is NHDESRules@des.nh.gov, or online via the NHDES Administrative Rules Public Comment Forum. Both of those were previously linked in the chat earlier. So thank you for joining us today. We'll end the recording, and if anybody in the room would wish to stay for an informal Q&A, they can do so. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.